Australians love to speak in acronym, and one of the most popular acronyms in our circles at the moment is VUCA. It stands for volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. It emanated out of the US military assessment of a new type of warfighting post-Cold War, and its spirit is also captured in the writings of Klaus Schwab on the Fourth Industrial Revolution. Now, Schwab charts our journey through the industrial ages from the First Industrial Revolution that liberated society from a reliance on animal power, the Second Revolution that made mass production possible, the Third Revolution in the 60s that brought digital capabilities to billions of people, to being on the cusp of the Fourth Industrial Revolution that will, excitingly and terrifyingly, be characterised by technologies that are fusing physical, digital and biological worlds. Schwab argues that we are entering a time of challenges about what it means to be human. Why is this important? Well, the Fourth Industrial Revolution is emblematic of the futures that are possible in a VUCA environment. And with that, the problems and issues that we as societies will need to navigate. These will include new crimes, new opportunities for social control, new ways of social organisation, new seats of power, geopolitical shifts. For example, if, as Schwab has suggested, the Asian countries may be ideally placed to capitalise on the Fourth Industrial Revolution because of their relatively young populations, digital natives, you might say, we may see a shift in global power, and with that, a very different landscape for transnational law enforcement cooperation. So let's think about how today's solutions may contribute to tomorrow's problems. In Schwab's Asian Renaissance, our tried and tested alliance of the Five Eyes, the close intelligence sharing network, the USA, Canada, the UK, Australia and New Zealand, well, that may hinder rather than help our public safety work. Our citizens may need to be protected in very different ways, and we may find ourselves a source country for exploitation in ways we've not yet imagined. Recognising the long arc of what might, and what might be effective leverage points along the way is what I think we mean by systems thinking. The implication for policing and our policing lens is that we don't tend to start to think about these things until they're already issues of social disorder, by which point the horse is already bolted and there's little value in trying to close a stable door. The Internet of Things is a good example of this, with estimates of 40% of all crimes occurring online, and law enforcement agencies the world over playing catch-up with 10-year-old boys sitting in their bedrooms. Our opportunity to see the system at play, assess the likely outcomes and position ourselves outside our lanes and leverage a different result has been missed. And even if you have reservations about police leveraging beyond their operational remit, and we should talk more about that, we have still been unable to see this challenge coming or to do anything about it from a proactive or a preparatory view. And I wonder whether this is in part because of a set of deeply held assumptions about what it means to be a police officer. Which leads me to think that part of what we're talking about in creating learning organisations is not only human intellectual capital and personal mastery to see beyond events, recognise patterns and commit to double loop learning, we're also saying something about an organisation's will to see the long game and transform and position itself effectively. Here the learning organisation literature intersects neatly with another body of work on organisational agility. Let's return to our evocation of VUCA in warfighting by Whiteman. So Whiteman draws on the work of organisational transformation scholar Oscar Mink to suggest that in dealing with VUCA, it becomes necessary to structure organisations in such a way that will meet the challenges presented by the environment. Now, at first blush, that's a statement of the blindingly obvious. But I think it bears closer examination when we consider the structural suitability of policing to learn and adapt in the face of VUCA, which is to say our police organisations' ability to be true learning organisations. There is much that links the essence of learning organisations and organisational agility. Agile organisations are characterised by an ability to sense subtle changes in the internal and external environment, to make countless small adaptations in response. Organisational agility rests on an ability amongst its people to sense early warning signs of shifts in the internal and external environment, identify and distill relevant information for the organisation to react quickly and to make an impact. In terms of learning and learning leading to organisational transformation, agility and learning go hand in hand. Organisational agility rests on organisational flexibility and adaptability, but it's powered by its people's thoughts and behaviour. Organisations must provide an enabling environment that encourages people to contribute their unique skills, expertise and experience, their tacit knowledge, and it must be alive to the need to transform as a result. They must have cultures that value different ways of thinking. They must have systems that recognise complexity, experimentation, and the ability to shift from subsequent learning. And they must have a leadership that recognises its role as being to facilitate this. Instead of posing a set of ideas from the top down, be able to give others in the organisation the freedom and the cover to feel their way into new ways of operating.